Well, hello, beautiful. Yes, you watching right now. You're looking great. I'm looking great too. I feel great. Every time I wear this, I get asked, this top is Jacquemus and the earrings are ASOS, but they're both old and discontinued. I'm very sorry. I just really like wearing my old things. I know we're supposed to link everything we're wearing, but I just don't want to stop wearing things I love just because I can't link them. It makes no sense. But I didn't film this look either. I am the worst, actually. I am wearing the oh my god, you have no idea how long that took. I'm wearing the Blimey Cosmetics and Robert Welsh collab, and I'm wearing something else on my eyes that I will be talking about in a little bit. We are gonna do a ranking. I'm gonna go through a couple of things that I've been trying and reviewing as of late, letting you know how I feel about these things, ranking them from least favorite, you definitely don't need these in your collection, take them out of your basket right now, until my absolute favorite. And I think a couple of you are gonna be extremely surprised when you hear what's number one this month, because I have been, you know, I'm not like using the word obsessed lightly, but I've been obsessed with this thing. I'm very excited to let you know that this video is sponsored by Haruharu Wonder Skincare, and it is the end of the day. It is time to take my makeup off. I already put my hair up, and we are going to be doing some double cleansing, baby. And we're going to be using the cleansing oil and the cleansing gel from Haruharu Wonder, which is very effective, very affordable, and also very good for sensitive acne prone skin. And I am going to teach you how to double cleanse without the breakouts. Haruharu Wonder is a vegan, cruelty-free, affordable skincare brand that is made for all genders, generations, skin types, and at very thoughtful prices. It is no secret that I like to double cleanse, and my favorite is going in with an oil first. Okay, let's get rid of all this makeup. Step 1, lashes off. Step 2, hair back. Now we're going in with the cleansing oil. I'm gonna put this in my hands and I'm just gonna start working away the makeup, and I have a lot of brow products in. This product will loosen up your lip products. Can you see how quickly that was? Oh, your eyeshadow, your brow. I think my brow product, I always say, listen, the apocalypse happened today. My brows will be here for season 3. They're the ones that have the most resistance to them. But you massage, and then we're gonna go to the bathroom and emulsify. The secret to getting all the makeup out is to emulsify a bit, which is using a little bit of water to make sure that you get that milky texture of the oil, to make sure you get rid of all the makeup, all the SPF, and to make sure that you're not clogging up your pores or getting any kind of breakout. The perfect way to follow up a cleansing oil is the second step. This is why it is a double cleanse. You cleanse with the oil and then you cleanse with the cleansing gel. The Haruharu Wonder Black Rice Moisture 5.5 Soft Cleansing Gel is a perfect second step. The cleansing gel has a coconut-based surfactant that minimizes irritation and defends the skin's barriers. It's a light acidic and helps maintain the skin's pH balance at 5.5. And always make sure that you're using your hands properly on your face on your second step as well, to make sure that you're getting rid of all that gunk that you helped loosen up with oil in the beginning. Rinse with water and you'll have everything off your skin, no makeup residue, no SPF residue. Okay, we are back from the bathroom and the skin is completely clean, but still not dehydrated, just honestly feeling great. Since I'm finishing up for the night, let's just apply some cream as well. This is the Centella, Phyto, and 5-peptide concentrate cream. This 5-peptide complex gives a boost of hydration without feeling greasy or heavy on the skin, which is exactly what I am looking for. I want a cream to give me moisture and to keep me hydrated. I just don't want to feel greasy, because greasy creams do tend to break me out. It is hydrating and anti-aging with the peptide complex, and brightening and depuffing with the caffeine and squalane. Let's finish up with an eye cream. This is the Black Rice and Bacchusol eye cream. This is a retinol alternative for reduced appearance of fine lines and wrinkles. And this is gentle and versatile enough to be able to be used on an everyday basis. And there we go. Skin is clean, skin is hydrated. Honestly, my skin looks great. I mean, you can clearly see from the before and after that I had a full face of makeup. We're talking full coverage foundation, eyeshadow, lipstick, the whole shebang, and this had no problems going through that. And that is what I'm looking for in a good double cleanse. I'm looking for something that is effective. I'm looking for something that is mild and won't irritate my skin because I have been battling with eczema as of late. And I'm looking for something that's gonna make my skin look and feel clean without feeling like it's just drained of all of its moisture. And this is definitely that. Haruharu Wonder is already an affordable brand, but they're having a Black Friday special on Amazon. So if you're interested in picking up some new skincare products, if you're also interested in getting a very effective double cleanse method, definitely recommend you to check these out during Black Friday on Amazon. I will leave all the info about that down in the description box. Don't forget to check them out. I'm always very excited to have really good, effective makeup cleansing because putting on makeup is really good, but also it's very important how we take it off. So thank you again so much for sponsoring this video. I absolutely adore this double cleanse, and let's get back to the rest of the video. Let's start with my least favorite things. If I dislike something that you love or vice versa, don't be mad. Don't be mad at me. Don't be mad at people in the comments. It's all just makeup at the end of the day. We all have different preferences. Just because I dislike something you love doesn't mean I don't know how to do makeup. We just love different things. And if you spend money on something you love, that's absolutely amazing. And if I spend money on something that I don't love, I mean, you win, I lose. Let's talk about a couple of things that I don't like for the exact same reasons. Honestly, I think I'm gonna begin with these because they're more expensive, so it was a more expensive mistake. These though were sent to me as PR, and these are not for me. These are the new formulas, the waterproof formulas, matte formulas by Makeup Forever. These are, I don't know exactly what this is called. Wait, it's called Rouge Artist Forever Matte. This is in Anywhere Caffeine. Don't leave, don't. It was rolling away. This is the matte formula. This is one of those that dries down completely. I'm in my matte lip era. I really am. And I think matte lips are making a comeback. I want to say you heard it here first, but I don't know if you heard it here first, but I've been saying it for a bit now. These are the kind of formulas I don't want to see back. This is a matte lipstick that dries down, which is it great? I don't know, but it's like, it's fully opaque, but it creates that line. Did you get that harsh line? It just doesn't look great. And this feels thick on the lips. So I think makeup, oh my God, this is harsh. This also looks questionable. If you pull this out of your purse, people are gonna be like, what is going on? And the same with this one. Yes, they're waterproof. Yes, they stay on forever, but they look so harsh on the lips, and this one goes on thick. This is the new lip liner formula. It is called Artist Color Pencil Extreme. Honestly, good naming, because it is extreme. It's thick on the lips. It is that super creamy formula. It's waterproof, it dries down, but it's so harsh in a way that their other pencils are not. And I just, for the life of me, would not understand why you would pick this formula over their other formula, because their other formula is amazing for the lips. I don't love them for the eyes, but for the lips, they're great. This one, it's way too overly pigmented straight out of the gate. Yes, it lasts all day, but sometimes the thing is, if you do a lip liner around your lips and that stays super sharp all day, it's not super flattering if you keep reapplying, because you're just gonna have a ring around your lips. So it's better with something that fades a little bit and looks a little bit gracious, but you can still see it throughout the day. That was just, it looks so much better, because I feel like sometimes when you're like, look at this, you can rub on it and it doesn't go off. It's not a selling point. It just means that it's gonna look rough on my lips. I'm gonna get harsh lines, and I'm gonna have to babysit that opposite to what they're promoting, at least for the lip looks that I like. And I like an opaque lip like this, but I want to be able to do that so I don't get the harsh line. Maybe that's a preference thing. And that's also the exact same reason why I don't like the new matte lipstick formula from Colourpop. Same kind of formula. Same kind of formula. These smell delicious though. They smell like Swedish zoo candy, which is like a tutti frutti. I mean, I love this. The scent, 12 out of 10. Absolutely love it. Can I get the scent in like shower gel? I would love that. The thing is, again, it gives you the harsh line, and these things give you that harsh line quickly within the hour. Yeah, it's matte. Yeah, it's transfer proof, but it's just not. It doesn't look that good. I don't think it looks that good. These I bought myself. I'm happy I only bought 2 shades. Now I'm gonna mention something that I dislike And I dislike it because I think it's labeled incorrect. And I did talk to the brand, and this is the Underland Distorted Dreamland Blush and Bronzer Duo from Ensley Rain. And this only comes in one shade, and this bronzer is, as you can see, too light for me. And I told her you shouldn't come up with a bronzer in one shade, and she said the way that she uses it is that she uses this one and then she blends with this on top to get the perfect basically to blend out the red. This shade will distort the red so that you can blur it into your skin. Do you want it to be fully opaque? Do you want it to have it like you can blend these shades together? And some people can use it as a bronzer, and that's why she chose to name it a bronzer blush duo. And I said she probably should have named it a blush duo instead, because that makes more sense. Some people are gonna use a blush duo as a bronzer. There are plenty of blushes that I can use as a bronzer. It all depends on your undertone, but I think it's a safer bet if she uses that as a blush duo to sell it as a blush duo, because she only came out as one color. But I'm happy I asked her. I'm happy I asked her because, yeah, that does make sense to like blur the edges of this one with this shade, which will probably work on a lot of different skin tones, and you can mix and match to get your perfect shade. That makes way more sense for me. I just think that this one is a little bit mislabeled, and I kind of wish that in 2024 we don't come out with one shade of bronzer. I am going to be talking, okay, we're getting into stuff now that is like, there's nothing wrong with these products. They're just not my favorite. I have some qualms with them before we get into products that I really, really, really like. So again, don't be mad at me. I actually bought most of these things myself. Well, not this one though. This is the Colourpop and Bratz palette. There's nothing wrong with the Colourpop quality, but can they stop putting in these gritty glitter shades? I don't like them. I don't want to use them because like this is like more of a glittery shade, and it's, spoiler alert, it's an e.l.f. shade. So if they can make that affordably, I'm sure the Colourpop can too. These shades, they're just like, you can feel the grit, and they don't stay put on the lid either, so they move. It's almost like you have like sand on your eyes. I just really don't like them. They're uncomfortable, especially if you have more hooded lids like I do. They just become incredibly uncomfortable on the lids. The thing is though, that I would have put this palette way higher had this been not those gritty shades, because I think the color story is really interesting. I just don't like the gritty shades, and I feel the same about this one. This is the Frosty the Snowman. I like this color story a lot, and swatched out, this looks incredible. It's just a couple of those gritty shades in here that I just don't want to use. I don't want to see them. I don't want to have them. Please, Colourpop, I understand that those are affordable to make, but your other eyeshadows are so good. Why do you have to litter up your palettes with those kind of shades? And this one I like more because I think that the glitters in this, first of all, it's more shades, and there's only, I think there's 3 of those glitter shades in here, or maybe there's only 2. It might be only these 2. I'm unsure now. It was a bit since I used this one. And these are smoother, at least this one is smoother than the other 2 palettes. So I probably could wear that and not feel the grittiness on my lid. And I also think that this color story is a really nice color story. It's like burgundy cool tones, and I think a lot of people would enjoy a color story like this. And there's like, this shade doesn't really feel gritty. This one, not my favorite. This one looks like it's gonna be that, but I didn't feel like this was that particular gritty formula at all, in my humble opinion. I feel like I'm being mean. I just really, Colourpop has done so many good palettes. I don't understand why we now are back in 2016 when we're putting glitters in our palettes. This one is the better of the ones though. The Stranger Things palette. I think this color story is very versatile. I like the quality of this one. Let's not lose my top. This one has one down here. Again, I didn't feel like this one was as gritty. And then one here. At least it's only one out of the 16 that I wouldn't use. And I think the color story is really nice. It's moody. It's warm tones and cool tones. There's a couple of neutrals. There's some pops. I think this color story is pretty nice. When I swatched it out, I was like, oh, I see all the potential. Again, I just wish it didn't have a throwaway shade, or even 2, depending on how you see it. And just, we didn't used to do this. Can we go back in time and not have the pressed glitters in? Because they're not pressed glitters, they are eye safe, but they just feel, they feel gritty. And in the swatches, they probably look really nice, but if you touch them, if you're able to go to an Ulta or a place that has Colourpop and you can touch them, you'll probably see what I mean. And I feel the same about this one. And this palette, I think, has really good quality, but I think this is personal opinions. I think some design mistakes were made with the Icy Nude palette by Huda Beauty. They say that this is their last big palette. Maybe they lost steam and they don't want to do big palettes anymore, because I will say personally, I didn't think that this palette was well executed. I love that there is a iridescent duochrome like blue top row here. Up here, it really gives this palette variety so that you can go in different directions. But then there is a really old school, gritty, tough, actual like sand. It's pressed sand down here. This is a pressed glitter, and it's not even a sophisticated formula. It's not even a good formula. It's truly an awful shade. Like, it's not even like, oh, a C+. No, this is an F-. It's an awful shade. Really, if I could just dig this out of the palette, and that will be better than having it in here. It's not a good shade. It's a throwaway shade, and I don't understand why is that in this palette? Is it only to be able to say, oh, it's this many different formulas in the palette? But like, that shade isn't good. Also, this palette, according to me, is leaning too light. There are too many similar super light shades with a white base that on a skin tone that's deeper than mine, they're all gonna look the same. And even on my skin tone, a couple of these look the same. This looks pretty cohesive in the palette, but when you swatch it out, you realize a couple of these shades are not gonna be different at all on the eyes. And I think that was a mistake. I did do a reel, I'll see if we can pop it up next to me, where I was comparing this one to other either cool tone palettes or palettes that have been described as cool tones, just so you can see like what's out there, how do they compare, how similar are they. And I'm gonna say the palette that is the most similar to this one is actually the Pretty Grunge palette that Huda came out with last year. Just take out 2 of the light shades and put in 2 dark shades, bam, boom, you're there. So this is her last big palette, and honestly, maybe that's for the better if this is the kind of creativity within like question mark that they're gonna bring to the table. I personally don't think that this is worth, I think it's $69, right? I don't know about that one. Next, I am gonna put something, and this I'm only gonna put here because at the end of the day, I'm not a neutral lover, but I did enjoy this one. This is the Zoeva? Oh, I miss Zoeva coffee. Zoeva coffee is the coffee I used to drink in Sweden. I miss it a lot. I'm sure I could order it online. This is the Velvet Love Quad. This has 1 matte and 3 shimmers, and the matte is almost deep enough for me to be like, but I could do a one and done look with this, and I will bring this traveling. Will I reach for this at home? Probably not. Is this my dream color story? Probably not. But it's perfect for traveling. And I did think the quality was really nice. A couple of these quads had really throwaway color stories that were just very meek and bland, but I did enjoy this one. It is called Purple Haze Ice. I thought this was really nice. I bought this when I was in Australia. I am gonna continue using it. I'm gonna put it in my travel thingamabob. I think it's nice. Is it gonna be my favorite? Probably not. Is this gonna survive another declutter? Unless it becomes a travel favorite? Probably not. The quality isn't bad. I just bought it because I was curious about Zoeva, like, because I haven't tried them in years. And the quality is pretty nice. Didn't like the blush though. Where is the blush? That blush should have been bottom position. I will put up like just a swatch showing how it looked. Absolutely not. You don't need that blush whatsoever. It had no pigmentation whatsoever. That blush was like a slightly peachy setting powder. It made no sense. We're getting into the segment with products I really enjoy, but I'm gonna rank them according to more preference thing or like little things that are not perfect for me. And I'm actually going to start with something that might be a little bit surprising because this is one of my absolute favorite brands, but the Eternal Twilight palette by Oden is just too big for my liking. I very, very, very rarely bring up something that is this big. And this is just on the cusp, or really not on the cusp. It is beyond a little bit what I think is too big. There are a couple more palettes I'm going to mention here that are on the bigger side, but this is by far the biggest one. And it also is a color story that I think is very nice, but I really think, and I'm going to be honest, I think I said this in another video as well, I think Oden would have been better off just doing this color story and putting this on the front and just doing that color story. I honestly think that they probably would have been better off doing that. That's just my own personal opinion. And also like in this personal opinion, of course, is the whole thing that like I like smaller, more curated palettes, but a lot of people love a good big palette. And if you do, there's a lot of options in here. I like Oden quality. Just it's too big. It's too big for like what I like to do. The next one is going to be the Nomad Cosmetics Chicago Speakeasy. And personally, I think Nomad Cosmetics makes amazing eyeshadows. This one it's a little bit too muted to be perfect for me. I love the pop of green here. I love the look that I did for YouTube. And I love playing around with the purples too. It is just me personally, I like something that is a little bit more either warmer or brighter. Here we have some like more warm neutrals and neutral neutrals, but this whole here, it's like almost grayish plums, and I think a lot of people will really enjoy that. I'm just not the right target audience for it, and I have so many other palettes from Nomad that I personally would prefer. I also have the LH Cosmetics collab that they did with Margareta Grääs. I love Margareta Grääs and I love LH Cosmetics, and this palette is very good quality, but for me, it is lacking something that's even deeper, because neither one of these are as deep as me personally. Clearly, this is as deep as Margareta Grääs wants it to go. She chose the shade, so clearly this is what she wants. So this is definitely just a personal preference. I like a palette to go even deeper than that. With that being said, I've had a lot of fun with this palette. The quality is really great. The look that I did for YouTube with this palette, you seem to love. I keep getting compliments on that. I did like a yellow-green look. I just wish that it went a little bit darker. Again, personal preference. Now we're also coming into a palette that is bigger, and this is the biggest palette that Gourmande Girls has ever done. This is the Calavera palette, and this is I think their first rainbow palette, and it is the biggest palette that they have ever done. It is very big. It is also a little bit jumbled up, which is not necessarily my favorite way of doing palettes. And I also think that these two shades are a little flaky, which isn't my favorite. Also, the Oden's Eye also has a couple of flaky shades. Some people love them, and when I say that, they're like, yes, that makes me so excited. That's what I want to see. It gives this very impressive, different sheen on the eyes that I think looks better on a non-textured eyelid than a textured eyelid. Again, personal preference. I do think that these shadows are really nice. This blue one here was a little hard, like hard pan, but it's a little too hard pressed. And I did tell the owner that as well. I just think that this palette has a very interesting color story. Again, I don't want palettes to be this big. I like the undertones on a couple of these. They're almost like a little pastel-y neon, and then there are some deeper like jewel shades. It's very interesting for being a rainbow palette, but at the end of the day, it is a bigger rainbow palette. But I think it's really fun. And also the owner, Christina, is celebrating her Mexican heritage with the cover of this palette, which I think is really nice. Now we're getting into something that is not my color story, but I can't deny, let me pull down my sleeves a bit. I can't deny that the quality of this palette is really good, I think. And that is the Makeup by Mario. This is the Ethereal Eyes Moonlight palette. The only shade where I'm like, I've seen a lot better is this matte blue. It's pigmented, but it is not the kind of shade that you can like sheer out on its own. Because some blue shadows are very, very pigmented, but still very blendable, so that you can sheer them out and make a gradient with just one eyeshadow. I don't think that this blue is high quality enough for that, but you can use it together with some of these other shades to give stuff a blue tint. And I did do a fully blue look with this palette, and I thought it was really good. Is it the best blue I've ever tried in my life? No. But the other neutrals, he does eyeshadows really well. The formula is really beautiful. I think if we count this one, this is a very high quality palette. This one is still okay, not amazing. There also is a blue like duochrome topper up here. It's like a lime green blue duochrome topper. It's really pretty. The shimmers are that sparkly topper, like very pretty ethereal look. It is not a foiled metallic. If you're looking for that, these aren't that. These are a little bit more of a sheer topper sparkle. They're very beautiful, very forgiving on a more textured lid. Is this going to be a color story I reach for every day? No. But I can't deny the quality is really beautiful. The packaging is kind of boring though, but that's also, again, personal preference. I love Bella Beauté Bar's formula. I think they make amazing eyeshadows. This is not going to be my favorite palette from them this year, but that doesn't mean, I'm going to mention another palette from them in this video. With that being said, this is the Vamp. It's a beautiful color story. It has a couple of grays and silvers. Again, not what I always reach for. I love these colors more. And when there are some shades in here, or 3 shades in here, where I'm like, meh, I could take it or leave it. And this one over here as well, it's called Skin of a Killer. It's like a very silvery sparkly topper shade. It's beautiful. I just feel like they have done color stories that are more my preference. The quality, there's nothing wrong with the quality. It's just, this is just a color story preference. 2/3 of this palette I think are amazing. 1/3, I could take it or leave it color story wise. What I will say though, like I said, there's gonna be 2 palettes from this brand in this video. I would love to see them release maybe fewer palettes next year. They do release amazing palettes, but I would love them to work even more on a couple of fewer releases, because it's just been a lot of palettes from them this year. That's not always a bad thing, but it's a little bit overwhelming, I can't lie. This is the Divination palette. This is the collaboration between Robert Welsh and Blend Money Cosmetics. This is the palette that I couldn't remember in the beginning. It is what I have on my eyes today, except the shimmer shadow. We are going to talk about that in a little bit. I think that he did a really good job with this. I am wearing these 3 shades here today, especially the top 2 like rows. I think that that's where we were able to a little bit step away from the traditional like rows, because there's I love Blend Money quality. I really do. But after owning all of the Blend Money palettes, slowly but surely they are starting to look a little bit the same, except that sugary palette that they did. And I understand that, yes, if you swatch them out, none of them are exactly the same. There are differences, there are undertones, but on the eyes, with your own like skin color peeking through a little bit, they're not going to be, some of these shades just don't look that different on the eyes. And eventually, I feel as a consumer, how many teal rows do you need? With that being said, I think it's very important for a collaborator to create their perfect color story. And what I really like about this is that he put in a second row of shimmers. I think that's great. It gives more variety. A couple of these shimmers are incredibly impressive as well and super, super fun. Especially this one here. It's like a purple iridescent topper. You have a yellow with a lime green shift here. Very impressive. I also really like the neutral shimmers that are in here. They're very spectacular, especially those like, it's almost like an espresso metallic with like a almost silver shimmer to it. That's a very interesting neutral. I haven't worn that one on my lid yet, but it's a very interesting neutral shimmer that will make a very interesting brown cool tone, but still not cool tone smoky eye. This doesn't make sense, but I am impressed with the color choices. Putting this where it is just me being like, I don't know, because Blend Money also have had a lot of palettes this year. And I know they're still releasing one more. So again, this is just a personal opinion. Let's talk about the e.l.f. single shadows. These are very affordable. So what I will say, I'm wearing this one today. This is the Fine as Fleck. Oh, I thought it was, no, the shadows are called Fine as Fleck. Okay, this is Straight Fire. I was like, I thought this was called Straight Fire. It is. This is like a plum base with like a teal, like slightly teal blue shimmer on it. This is sheer. Let's start with that. It's sheer. It is a nice sparkle, but it's not that hyper sparkly in the shadow. It is not the same sparkle as some more expensive brands either. Just again, my personal opinion. I think with these are really good, and they're especially good for the price. And if you like this result, I also have the lighter one here that's called White Hot. If you like something that's like a little scattered, not super like easy to work with, you can put it on with your finger, I think you would really like these. The packaging is fairly nice. It doesn't feel super flimsy, even though it is a plastic packaging, and it's e.l.f. So I definitely think that these are a good product. I mean, you could see where they're ranking. I'm just saying, do manage your expectations a little bit. These are what, like, I don't know how much these are even, but they're like fairly affordable. They're not going to perform like a $30 eyeshadow. They're not going to perform like an indie eyeshadow. I'm just managed your expectations. They are worth their cost and more, but they're not going to be duping those super sophisticated, highly sparkly, more encapsulated, even more in gel, wet look eyeshadows. That's just me. They're still nice though. I want to talk about also the new blushes and highlighters from Oden. Love the new packaging. I think that these are really fun, and I'm excited to see, you can see it's a really bright one. I'm excited to see them come out with even more brighter shades. I wonder if this is the other, this is the one that's a little bit shimmery. It's very, very glowy and shimmery. And then we have some highlighters. This is a gold to purple. It's very, very interesting. I think these are super fun. These are not my perfect colors, but I do think the quality of these are really beautiful. I personally prefer the ones that I have from before color-wise, but formula, if you like a super highlighty highlighter, these are definitely the one for you. And they also have a really nice blush formula. They have some glowy ones, they have some more sparkly ones, and they have some matte ones. And whatever you like in that kind of a formula, this is more like an almost blue-green. Oh my god, it's so reflective. It's like not even showing. It's like a blue-green. Very interesting. I do think this formula is really good. With that being said, I'm ranking them a little lower because these specific colors are not my favorite colors. I also really enjoy actually the lip color that Welsh came with Blend Money. This is a green. There is also purple. I haven't used that one yet. This green one is really nice. I'm just docking a couple of points because he has a plastic spatula on here. That's not my perfect way of doing lip color. I understand that he put it here for a reason, but again, it's just a perfect example of like preferences. The green is a sheer green and it will cancel out some of the redness in your lips if you want to just mute your lip color down a little bit. Something like this, like a color corrector, but for your lips. I also have the highlighters from the Dreamless and Moonlit Madness highlighters from the Underland collection from Ensley Rain. These are really, really nice. This is, I think you can see, it's like a fiery peach highlighter. It's very, very intense. This is the kind of highlighter that's perfect for my skin tone. And then there's one for darker skin tone that is almost like an olivey green. And I've seen my friend Heather Austin wear this, and she is more of a medium tan. And if she can wear it, I'm sure you can stretch this over more skin tones. But it's, yeah, it's like an olivey green. I think this is a nice duochrome multichrome highlighter formula, and I like the packaging. I love that it's cardboard. I always like a good cardboard packaging. I think they did really good with this, and I hope to see more colors in the future in other collections. This palette was a little bit of a surprise for me. I did not think that I was gonna like this the way that I do, and that is the Sugar palette by ABH. This palette is really, really nice. It has a couple of mattes. There are some mattes with a little sparkle in it, maybe mainly this one. You can see there's some sparkle in here. There is a little bit in this one too, but honestly, that might be... There might be some in here, it might just be like fallout from the shade above, I don't know. But this one specifically has a little shimmer in it. If you blend ferociously, the shimmer will go away. If you pack it on your lid, you will have a matte little sparkle. I think that's super pretty on the lid. Overall, I think this palette is very well composed. There are some dark shades, there are some light shades. I can use this as an inner corner highlight. You can use this one as an inner corner highlight. The colored, like almost pastel shimmers are beautiful for that like frosty winter pastel look, and then you can go a little dark. This is also, yeah, this is also a matte with like shimmer in it. It's like a lot of burgundy shimmer in there. Honestly, I think this palette is really nicely made. The quality is really beautiful, and I have been surprised at how much I've been enjoying this. I really hope we can see even more stuff like this from ABH in the future. Just like neutrals meets colors. This is definitely a really good take on the like neutrals, but with a pop of pastel. I think they did a really good job. This is the Uda's Eye Rosy Jingle palette. This was one of their holiday palettes. Even though I don't personally think this color story breeds holiday, at least not where I celebrate holidays, I still like the color story for what it is, and I especially like this yellow, and this shade here is incredible. I think it's called Champagne. It is a wet peach with, it looks just like a sparkling, juicy, sheer wet look peach on your eyes with like lavender shimmer in there. It's absolutely incredible. I wore that on my eyes. I wore it in a Get Ready With Me that I filmed for Rachel Premier's channel. It's absolutely incredible. There is a lot of shades here that I think are incredible, but for me, I'm gonna bring in something else. The next time I'm wearing this palette, now that I'm done reviewing it, I'm gonna bring in something else wearing this one. I cannot wait to wear this one all over my lid together with some really dark browns and mustards. I think that's going to be absolutely incredible. But overall, I think the quality of this palette is really nice. I like Uden's Eye quality. I think this is really beautiful. But is this a one and done palette for me? No. But I still think it's super fun, and I cannot wait, again, now that I'm done reviewing this palette, wearing this with other things. I'm usually not much into those like color changing, pH changing blushes, but I do think that this one from the Stranger Things collab that Colourpop did actually is really nice. It's like a black blush and it goes on very sheer, muted, warm pink on the cheeks. And I think that this is, first of all, this is a nice formula. It almost looks a little dewy on the cheeks, even though it's not sticky. And I think for being a color adjusting pink, I think that this actually looks really nice and goes on pretty sheerly and it's easy to work with. So it was good for what it is. I can't deny that I think that this one, they did a pretty good job with. I also really do enjoy the other Colourpop blush formula that they released. What are they actually calling this one? Weightless Liquid Blush. I guess this is their version of the Rare Beauty liquid blushes. A lot of brands are doing liquid blushes, but I honestly think this is a really great formulation. It's easy to work with, easy to blend out. It is pigmented, but it doesn't dry down too quickly so that you're left with a blob on your cheeks. Very easy to blend with a liquid highlighter. It does dry down, but doesn't look powdery on the skin, but it's not sticky. I think they did a good job with that formula. I think it's a really nice one. Another really nice cream blush that I like even more is actually the Unearthly blushes. These sold out so quickly. These are the Paranormal Plush cream blushes. This is the one shade that I haven't used. It's like the darker red, but the other two shades I have been using plenty. We have the Wilted Blossom, which is like almost like a grayish mauve. It's super, super pretty. Really nice on the cheeks. Someone was asking me if these remind me of the cream blushes from Makeup by Mario, and I would say the finish on the cheeks, this one is burnt rose. It's more like a muted peach. I would say how they look on the cheeks, yes, because these also look dewy on the cheeks, but they're not sticky. Very easy to blend out. These feel a little bit more emollient though than the cream blushes in the pan from Makeup by Mario. They go on so nicely. They're so emollient that you can go they can go on with your fingers as well. Very, very impressed with this formula. I think that they did a great job with this one, and I would love to see even more shades in the future. And the owner, again, they are sold out. They sold out super quickly. Very much recommend them, but the owner did say that they are restocking them, and hopefully in the future it can bring out even more shades because this is a really nice formula. I love Ensley Rain eyeshadows, and I love that they're doing these 6-pan palettes. They're gonna do the 6-pan palettes, I think, every month for a while. I don't know for a year, but for a while. And they already did announce the one that's for next month, but for this month it is like Hop something. It's with a bunny on it. Super, super cute. This is the one they had last month. This is Nutty by Nature. And I gotta say, the 4 mattes, absolutely spectacular, fantastic. Give me, what is that like meme? Give me 10 of them right now. Love them. The shimmers, there are extremely special multichromes. Again, I've said this before, but I would not have picked these multichromes for this palette because it is like a pale purple going to a green, and it is a like burgundy going to a bronzy gold going to a greenish gold. They're amazing, but I don't think they go with these 4 mattes. I think the other palettes that I've seen, because I've seen the one for December too, I think those shimmers go better with the mattes than these two. These 4 mattes are perfect for me. So I'm gonna take these 2 shimmers out, and I'm gonna probably bring some other from Ensley next time I'm traveling. I'm going to Vegas in a couple of weeks. So I think that that's what I'm gonna do. The quality is still beautiful though, and this packaging is so cute, and I'm so excited that they're doing smaller palettes. I really love working with Ensley Rain mattes and Ensley Rain shimmers, so I'm very, very excited about these. And yeah, I've seen some of the other color stories coming, and I'm very, very, very excited. This one, I think the quality is amazing. It's just that the color story isn't perfect for me, but that makes sense because me and Amanda, Makeup Just for Fun, we don't have the same preferences when it comes to makeup. She loves cool tones. She loves more muted colors, neutrals. She also loves purple, and I like purples too, but it's not my favorite color. But she did these, what is it actually called? Enchanted Autumn, and this is a collaboration with Fantasy Cosmetica. The quality is beautiful. It really is. I think that Fantasy Cosmetica is one of those brands that really they decided that good was not good enough. They wanted to be great, and their formula is great. And I have another palette from them coming up. This is beautiful. I think this is stunning. This isn't my perfect color story because this isn't the kind of looks that I wear. They're really muted, grayed out colors. They're leaning a little neutral. I don't wear shimmers in my inner corner. This does not have a matte inner corner for me. This is beautiful though. And if you're the kind of person that does one color in your crease, one shimmer on your lid, and you like this color story, you will enjoy this a lot. The quality is absolutely beautiful. I like the other product in the collection even more, and I had to fish one of them out of my purse. We'll talk about that in a bit. Now I'm like questioning everything. I'm like, how? I want to talk about a mascara. I borrowed this mascara from my friend Samantha Marsh when we were traveling because I forgot to bring a mascara. Who forgets a mascara? I did. This is the Panorama mascara from L'Oreal. And I'm wearing it today. Well, I'm wearing some falsies too, but I wore this also when I was with Samantha March. And honestly, this mascara is really good. It has a plastic wand, which I really love. And it is long, but it is like cone shaped and it's like, it thins out. This is great for applying like your mascara on your lashes, and with a lash curler, it gives me the kind of lashes that I feel good about my lashes without falsies on an everyday basis, which not a lot of mascaras can do that. I can count on one hand the amount of mascaras that make me feel good about my own lashes without falsies, and this is one of them. I definitely enjoy it. And when I got back from like borrowing Samantha's one, I put this on my wish list. I bought it. I'm using it, wearing it today. I think this is a great mascara. Another thing that I also borrowed from Samantha when we were traveling is actually her brow gel from Milk Makeup. This is the Kush High Roll Brow Tint. And I borrowed this from her, and I borrowed this on boat day. And I put it in my brows. I went swimming in the Mediterranean, had them on the entire day, and I still, after getting up, got compliments on my brows. This is an extremely long wearing. It just makes your brows look really good. I love the applicator of this one as well because it's a little plastic applicator so you don't get it everywhere. This is a tubing brow gel, so it gives volume to your brows as well. I think I have a blonde shade. I have the shade in Haze, and it is like a blonde shade. You can see I like having my brows a little blonde. I think this is a really nice product if you want to make your hairs look a little bit more voluminous, you want to color them, and you want to have something that stays on all day. Remember though that it is a tubing technology, so when you take this off, it does come off in those little like plasticky worms. I'm just letting you know, but I thought this one was great. I bought my own one and I really love it. Let's talk about the lip product that Amanda did with Fantasy Cosmetica. These are the tinted lip balms. All of these have a different scent to them, and they come in a bunch of different fun colors. I have been enjoying the one that has the coffee one. It's like a brown one. It's a really nice one. That's the one I fished out of my handbag. These are really nice tinted lip balms, and I really like those squeezy tubes. You know, these are really popular right now. This is a slanted one, and they're just a very nice product. They smell nice, they feel nice, they look nice on the lips. The only complaint I would have is that the name is not on the product. So I don't know the names of these because the name is not on the product. It was only on the box. I might have to maybe I can put it on myself. I might do that. I might put it on myself with like a marker or something just to have it for me. But this is a really nice formula. They did a great job on these. I love Natasha Denona's eyeshadow formula, and I think the Roxa palette is beautiful. I am so impressed with this color story, and I don't even like purple eyeshadow that much. That's not true. I love all colorful eyeshadow, but when it comes to colorful eyeshadow and people ask me, what do you like the most? I'm like, oh, blue, red, yellow, orange. I don't think about purple until the very last color. And purple and pinks are probably my least used eyeshadow colors at this point in time. With that being said, I think this palette is beautiful. I love the mix of like more reddish tones with purples. I love that there's warm tones, cool tones. I love there's deep shades, light shades. I like the shimmers a lot. Sometimes I feel like the weak link with Natasha Denona is not the quality of her shimmers. They're great. It is that some of them tend to look the same on the eyes. Like there's too many champagnes. How many champagnes, how many bronzes does a person need? In this palette, I feel like all the shimmers are significantly different from each other, and I think she did a great job on this. I did do a dedicated video on this palette where I swatched it and I did 2 different eye looks, and quite honestly, I think this palette is stunning. Is it better than the Yucca palette? No. But it's because I like that color story more. But if you like this color story, and if you thought the retro palette was a little bit too safe, You might like this one. I thought it was a really good one. The next one is the other holiday palette by Oden. This is the Silvery Bliss palette. I don't know why they named it Silvery Bliss, because I don't know if there's a single silver in here. I guess this one could be technically like a little pewter silver. I don't wear gray shadows, so I mean, I'm not upset about that. This one has a bunch of, remember when I said all those favorite eyeshadow colors that I had? Red eyeshadow. I think it's so fun. Love this one. It's a red metallic with gold shimmers in it. There's a bright gold. There are pinks in here. There's a beautiful rose gold in here. I love the mix of cool tones with reds with some muted pinks. I just think that this palette has a really nice combination of shades that I love in a quality that I really enjoy, and I cannot wait to wear this once again. And I also cannot wait to wear this one. I've done one look where I've combined this palette with the other palette that I showed you, and I cannot wait to do that again because I have so many combinations that I want to do, and me and my husband are not traveling for the holidays. We've decided to stay at home. So maybe when we have our little Christmas celebration, because Ricardo has to do lab work, that's the main reason, maybe I'll do like a Christmas look with those two together and just do it like my style. Bright and fun and not very Christmassy. Now we have the Poison Garden by Bella Beauté bar. I think this color story, it's just so beautiful. Honestly, it just makes me happy. This corner up here just gives me all the feels. It is murky. It is murky and grungy without having that gray tone on it. A lot of people love that when it's leaning a little gray and it's like a little bit more cool toned, and a lot of people love that look. Personally, not my favorite. You've heard me talk about this. It's just a preference thing. Like, what do you want? What do you prefer to have on your eyes? What do you prefer to work with? Your undertone, blah, 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 blah. I also love these blues here. I did really nice tutorials with like these two blues here, and I think I used the black as well. Absolutely beautiful. I love these grungy tones. I love these grungy tones. And then just this pop of a bright blue that is just peacock blue. But still, it's enough blues where you can do a full look, which is what I did, without having to pull in other palettes. I think this is beautiful. The only thing that this one is missing is a matte inner corner for me. Again, it's not that hard for me to bring in something else. You've seen this with a lot of palettes. It just doesn't have exactly that. Let's talk about the next Fantasy Cosmetica palette. This one's sold out and it's restocked again, and I don't blame y'all for loving this one because I do too. This is the Harvest of Souls palette. This is my new Fantasy Cosmetica favorite palette. Look, this color story, again, it has everything that I love. Different formulas going from light to dark in both shimmers and mattes. It has pastel inner corners in multiple shades, and it has the contrast between cool tones and warm tones. It is so beautiful, and each and every one of these shades can be worn with other things. You can like match these, you can wear these two together. That will make a really nice grungy look, because where these meet, you're gonna get that grungy brown. If you've never done something like that, I highly recommend it. You can wear these two together. You can wear this one with this one, but you can also wear it with the greens here. There are so many combinations that you can do between these shades, and I'm so impressed with this color story, so impressed with this. The artwork is beautiful, and with the quality, the color story, all of it, execution, 10 out of 10, best palette they've ever done. I don't know if it's limited edition or not, but it did sell out and they did restock it, and it's so good. But now let's talk about my actual favorite product of this month, or like 2 months or month. I don't know how often I do this anymore. I try to do them when like a lot of things have like stocked up where I'm like, I actually want to talk about these. I bought a bunch of perfumes as of late, and I really like the perfumes. I think all of them were really good. I've been wearing them, I've been enjoying them. But one of them knocked my socks off, and wearing it gives me all the compliments. This is the Old Fashioned by Kilian. It's just such a good fragrance because it really does smell like a sweet but bitter cocktail made into a fragrance. It has the orange peel, it has the bitters, it has the bourbon. It smells incredible. It is both citrusy fresh and boozy sexy. It is a daytime fragrance. It is a daytime fragrance and a daytime fragrance. It is incredible. And I've only had this for a short while, but I've used quite a lot of it. I've even put this on before going to bed because I love the warmth of it while still being citrusy. I think that this is a true unisex scent as well. I love wearing this one. My husband tried it once as well and he enjoyed it. It is just a really good scent. Talk about taking because everybody does citrus scents. Everybody under Mama does a citrus scent. The niche perfumes, Victoria's Secret, the Sephora brand, everybody does like citrus perfumes. Talk about taking it to the next level and just taking something as generic as citrus and just making it into something unique. This is a sweet, bitter, boozy citrus yumminess. I cannot recommend this one enough. I am absolutely obsessed with it. Kilian kills it. They should put that on the t-shirt. Their angel share is also incredible. It's like a boozy apple pie. Oh, so good. I think I need to go and smell all of their fragrances because I've smelled some that are a little bit more on the powdery, flowery, feminine side, which hasn't been my favorite, but this is so good. If you're wondering about any of these things, I will have them in my description box. Also, they've been popping up in YouTube shopping while I've been going through this. If you're interested in these things and you do use my links or my codes, thank you so much for supporting my channel. My links and my codes are affiliated. Don't forget to subscribe before you leave. Also, thank you so much again, Haruharu Wonder, for sponsoring this video. You know, I'm a big fan of a double cleanse. So yeah, have a great day and I'll see you probably tomorrow for a new video. Bye!